everyone to this week's episode of Willie's Ramblins and Pickups. Well, what have I been doing since the last pickup video I've made? Well, I was in New Jersey this past week doing some work up there. Visited a couple, two or three different stores up there. I'll talk about here in a minute. Before we get started though, I did go see a couple movies since the last time that I recorded. Went to go see the movie 1917, a World War I war film. Very well done. It keeps you enthralled throughout the entire movie. It's actually very well done. Really enjoyed it. Another I went to go see was Underwater, which is a creature feature from 20th Century Fox. Takes place, deep in the ocean. Kind of like reminds me a little bit of Deep Star 6. A little bit of Leviathan in there, that kind of thing. It's a monster movie. Takes place under the ocean. It's kind of interesting. It kind of drags in some spots, but overall, I kind of enjoyed it. But enough with the movie talk. What else is going on? Oh, Ed from Ed Lighting Controllers is steadily getting his work done on the new Atari 5200 controller. That's going to feature a paddle and a spinner on this, plus the ability to use the original overlays on the keypad. If you have a 5200 system, this is going to be the controller that you probably want to get. It's going to be really awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing this controller from Ed when he gets it done. Let's see. Oh, before we get to the pickups, I got a really cool show donation from my buddy Chris, the Atari Creep. Out of the blue, he sent me this really cool t-shirt that features Galaga artwork on it, custom artwork. I found this picture on the internet somewhere. Some artist did this. I don't remember his name. And I made the comment, "Boy, that'd be kind of cool for a t-shirt." And Chris had a t-shirt made and sent to me. Thanks, man. That's awesome. So where did I go up in New Jersey? Well, I was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey this week. Went and visited a couple stores around there. I could get my notes because Willie, his mind don't work too good. His brain things don't do the brain things very well anymore. First place I visited was All Things Video Games in Pine Hill, New Jersey. Really cool store, a lot of neat stuff in there. They had a lot of cool classic games, Atari 2600, all that good stuff. A really great store. Another place I visited was called Next Level Video Games in Blackwood, New Jersey. This store is pretty cool too. They had a whole bunch of box ColecoVision games. I was really tempted to pick those up, but I don't have room back here anymore, so I'm kind of backing off from picking up cartridges and things like that, unless I really want it for some reason. And then I visited this one store that has video games and retro toys. It's called The House of Fun in Oakland, New Jersey. Now this store was phenomenal. Not only did it have a whole bunch of video games, it had a lot of Atari 8-bit games in there. They had some arcade games. They had a cocktail version of Donkey Kong Jr. in there. A lot of classic toys, tons of them, stuff I haven't seen in years. All sorts of stuff. Of course, they had a large Funko Pop section, which I think is a waste of space. I don't like Funko Pops. But they had a lot of cool retro toys in there, a lot of retro games, had a lot of retro consoles. But this is one of the things I didn't like about the store. There's no prices on anything. And you find dust on top of some of the toys that have been sitting there, which means they've not been moved in a long time. Well, I found out why. When you go to check out, they actually price the items as you check out. So they're looking at Amazon.com, they're looking at eBay and stuff like that. I tend not to like to shop at stores that do that because I think it's kind of an insult to the customer to expect them to stand there and waste their time while you're pricing items out. You should have them priced. If you're that worried about getting the best price, maybe you need to get out there and start pricing stuff, keeping it updated. Go through your stock. Oh, I better update the price on this. Don't make your customer wait while you price things live. That's bad. I don't like that. I did buy something from there because I really wanted it for my collection, which I'll talk about here in a few minutes. But basically, before you go to this store, if there's something you're really interested in getting, check Amazon.com and eBay for the current prices before you go. because that's pretty much what you're going to pay. So if you're good with that, it's a win-win. Don't wait for shipping or anything like that. But just be aware of that before you go. It is an awesome store. I really liked it. Saw a lot of cool things in there. It's just, I don't care for that type of pricing method. I tend to avoid stores that do that. But anyway, that's enough of that. Sorry for a little bit of the rant there. I don't normally like doing that kind of stuff. I try to keep everything upbeat on this channel. But anyway, I guess we need to get to the pickups. I'm going to switch to the overhead camera mode to give you guys a better look at the pickups as I talk about them and everything. So, enough rambling. Let's get to the pickups. Okay, it's time for the pickups. First up, Mattels Basketball, complete in the box. This is the game I picked up at the House of Fun I talked about. I originally wasn't going to buy it, but it was $30, which I think is a pretty fair price for this thing, being complete in the box. It has the instructions, still has the styrofoam insert and everything, and the game is still wrapped in its plastic. It looks like it was never used, although I doubt it. It's actually in really good condition. The box is in really great shape. So I'll be doing a video on this sometime in the near future. I've been collecting some of these games in their original boxes to do a little bit more of a more better video. I've done videos on some of these, like the Battlestar Galactica Space Alert. I've done that one. I've done the Mattel Auto Race one. I think I've done Football 2. I may have done Basketball 2. But some of these I'm going to redo some of the videos because I have the box and the instructions with everything. And the Mattel LED games growing up were basically my Game Boy of that generation, and the PSPs of all that stuff, and the mobile gaming we have now. This was my mobile gaming back in the day. I carried one of these things with me all the time growing up. Mainly it was Football 2 I carried a lot of. But anyway, look forward to seeing videos on these sometime in the near future. I don't know which one I want to start on. I might do the basketball one first because I've got Basketball 2 complete in the box, so I can do them both at the same time. I haven't decided how I want to do that video. How would you like to see these videos done? Would you like to see just one at a time? Or would you like to see the original and the sequel together, like Football 1, Football 2, Basketball 1, Basketball 2, that kind of thing? Comment down below. Let me know how you'd like for me to go through these crazy little things. Anyway, continuing on. For my Atari 8-bit collection, I found the Dragnaut Factor. Awesome. This is a really great game. It plays really well on the Atari 5200. It's probably one of my favorite versions on the 5200. But this is the version I played on my Atari 800 XL. So I'm kind of happy to have this in my Atari 8-bit collection. Sometime in the future, I plan on going through all my Atari 8-bit carts so I can take an inventory. Because I've gotten to the point now where I don't remember what cartridges I have. So I figure, I'll make a video as I inventory these things and share some thoughts on the different games as I come across them and see how many I actually own now. I own quite a few, actually. Anyway, moving on next. Picked up upside down. Microsoft Pinball Arcade. Now, this came out in the late 90s, and it's one of the earlier pinball games besides the Epic pinball games that I picked up. I liked the Epic Mega Games pinball, but they were kind of like, fantasy tables like Android and some other pinball games, top-down view. This is one of the earlier ones I picked up. They had the three-quarter view where you're looking down at an actual pinball machine. And one of the reasons why I picked this up back then is because it had one of my favorite tables, Haunted House, on it. Now, the good news about Pinball Arcade is this still works in Windows 10. That's awesome. So you can easily get this and play it on your Windows 10 machine, no problem. Has a nice collection of pinball games on here. Has pinball games from every era, from the very beginnings in the 30s, all the way up until, I don't know what the last one is on here, maybe Haunted House or Cue Ball Wizard, maybe the last one on here. But it has a nice selection of tables, all from the different eras of pinball. So I'll be doing a video on this here really soon as part of the Pinball Electronica series. So I'll be doing an unboxing. This is not my original. This is one I picked up. I wish I still had my original. But this will do just fine. Next up, for my PlayStation 2, I picked up Gottlieb's Hall of Fame Pinball, the Gottlieb Collection. Now, I love digital pinball, as a lot of you know. Now, I like real pinball too, but I don't know what it is. I just like playing digital pinball every once in a while. Although some of the physics aren't that great, floaty, the ball may be floaty or whatever, maybe lag, the ball moves too slow, or the physics are kind of wonky. There are some digital pinball machines out there I think play really well. For me, they do. I'm not a real stickler on the fine details. But this has another nice collection of pinball tables in it as well, like Black Hole's one of them, which is really awesome. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. I'll be doing a video on this as well. I know there's been tons of videos already made on this on YouTube and everything, but what I'm trying to do in my videos is I'm trying to share memories and just general thoughts on the game. I'm not trying to do reviews per se. There's been way too many reviews on the games I talk about. I feel like, why rehash something? I'll just give my opinions on a game and talk about it and what I think about the game, and not try to tell people this sucks or this is really good. You got to buy this. No, I don't try to do that, because everybody's opinion's different. What I may like, you people may hate. What you guys may like, I may not like. It's all subjective. Video game reviews and any kind of reviews in general are subjective. They give you an idea of what you're getting into, but I always have to experience it for myself to actually know if I'm actually going to like something or not. That's one of the reasons why I used to like, back in the old days of the computer, they'd have shareware that you could download. See if you like something. If you liked it, you bought it. If you didn't, you just deleted it. Demos. I like demos of games I want to buy. Luckily, I know a guy that works at the GameStop. He's a manager. And if there's a game I'm interested in buying, he'll let me play it there in the store, see if I like it or not, if I'm going to buy it, whether I buy it. So I'm not taking a chance on buying a game I'm not going to like. But anyway, man, I ramble a lot in this video. Looking forward to trying this out. For my Sega Master System, I picked up another arcade game called Dead Angle. Awesome. Really cool gangster type arcade game. I've never played this in the arcade version of it. So I'll have to try it out first before I play this game to see how it compares to it. But I couldn't pass this up when I saw it. I'm trying to collect the arcade versions of games for my Sega Master System for my Arcade USA channel. My buddy Phil, the No Swear Gamer, is doing a series on all the different Sega Master System games, so you may go check out his channel, check out some of the non-arcade ones that he's covering to supplement the arcade ones that I'm going to be doing. Anyway, moving on. And lastly but not leastly, I finally picked up the Walmart version of the Defender game by Basic Fun. This has the larger screen, the better looking screen, and of course, it's got the NES ROM on here, which basically is Defender 2 or Stargate. So it's not actually the Defender game, arcade game. It's actually Stargate 2. Well, I mean, Defender 2 or Stargate. But I'll do an unboxing and video review of this as well. Not a review. A thought. I'll give some thoughts on this game as I check it out and everything. So I've already done the blister pack version, which is that really bad looking VFT simulated screen, but it has some really awesome sound effects on it though. So I'm looking forward to giving this game a try, even though it is the NES ROM on here. I've got that game on my NES and I like it, but I'll give it a try on here and see how it plays. And then I also picked up Spy Hunter. Now, I wasn't going to pick this up to do a video on because I'm not really into these little Basic Fun mini arcades anymore. I've really gotten into the Replicades and the bigger ones made by Numbskull. And I like those little miniature ones by Super Impulse, the tiny arcades. I like those for some reason. But these, I kind of like stopped collecting them. I actually got rid of all the ones I had, except for the latest Pac-Man, which is a lot better than the first two they did. I did keep that because I love Pac-Man. But I wasn't going to pick this up until I hit the little button here to see what ROM was in there, because I figured it was going to be the NES ROM. It's not the NES ROM. That sounds good. That's awesome. What's it called? So that's definitely not the NES ROM. It may be a modified version of the arcade ROM. I'm not for sure. But when I open this thing up and give it a try, make my video and give my thoughts on it, I'll try to see if I can figure out what it is. But it sure looks like it's a modified arcade ROM, what it looks like, which is a real nice step forward for basic fun if they did that. They'll get my interest back if they start doing that kind of stuff instead of porting NES ROMs to these little devices. The one thing I'm really concerned about is normally on Spy Hunter you got a fire button, you have another button for your optional stuff. This don't have a second button. That's a start button over there. That's your fire button. So I imagine when you get your bonus stuff like the oil slick or the rocket or whatever, you use that same button, the fire, to activate your bonus stuff, which I don't really care for that. I would have liked it better if it had two buttons. I mean, they had a two-button cabinet with the fender. They should just put Spy Hunter in this little bad boy to give you the two buttons. Anyway, I'll look into more of that when I actually get to the video going over this crazy thing. But anyway, that is all the pickups for this week. Hope everybody had a great holiday since my last recording. And I'll see you next time on another Ramblings and Pickup video. Thanks for watching.